and say cheese.
Join the team.
Hey, this is the McGuire Review, and we are going to be getting into the brand new Green Horde from CMON. This is the brand new Zombicide that has come out and delivered through Kickstarter, so let's lock in and get ready to go. Okay, this is going to be strictly an unboxing to see what came with Wave 2 and what those miniatures look like. Now, I have seen pictures, and I do have friends that also, friends and family that also got Green Horde. Now, this is not just the extra stuff that came in the Kickstarter. I did purchase some of the add-ons as well, some of the other expansions that would have been considered add-ons. So they'll be in here as well, and we'll take a look at those. I'm going to get everything out of the box. We're going to look at it. Bear is going to load up an overview once we get some things out of the box so you can start taking a look at. And then we are going to bring the camera in close and get right in on these miniatures because they really nailed it on this second wave. I mean, the quality of these coming out of CMON for this particular game and version of the game and wave, it just really is blowing people's minds. And I have seen some of these so far, again, from friends and family, and they're just absolutely amazing. So I'm anxiously waiting.
If I can get this box open.
Again, this is a true unboxing. I've had this for a little while already, and I've been kind of every night looking at it because I wanted to actually do the video and have sort of the reaction as I truly opened the box. So it's kind of been driving me crazy. So let's just go ahead and get in. I'm going to take that off the top. See, why don't we just go ahead and move the box right over here so it's out of our way. Bear can kind of help us hold that box. There you go, buddy. All right, and then just go ahead and hand me the stuff as we're getting, as we're getting ready. Okay, so go ahead and get some paper off of there. A couple pieces of paper on the very top just for padding, and we're in. Okay, Bear, first item, please. Thank you. All right, we've got the North, the Halfling. This was really cool and came with one of the add-on expansions, and the main reason why I actually bought that particular add-on was just to get North the Halfling. I just thought this was such a cool Halfling bard figure and sculpt. Really excited about this one. I don't know why, I just am. So that's the first item that we have. We'll pull that out. Again, we're going to open this stuff all up. We'll get overview of it. You'll be able to see that here in a little bit, and we will get up close on all the miniatures. This is another one, a special guest by Paul Bonner, and I believe that's how you pronounce his name. But it says here that Paul's own character designs for Zombicide, and this comes with 4 survivors, 1 necromancer, and you get the cards, and obviously they come with that. But this one was really awesome because it came with a Karag and Thorg, I think is how you say that. Karag and Thorg character that one is kind of writing the other one. It's pretty awesome. We're going to get that one out as well. That's the main reason why I bought this particular special guest pack, because of that. And actually, you're controlling 2 characters, or you can have 2 different players controlling each one of them, which I think is a really fun, really cool mechanic. So I can't wait to get that out of the box and use it. And then, I didn't order this. Another special guest box, which I don't remember ordering, so I don't know. Maybe this was something that got thrown in with the Kickstarter. I can't remember at this point. This may have been something that just came with the Kickstarter extras, because I didn't actually order this, so I don't know if this is just an extra throw-in or this was something that just came with the Kickstarter. But it is another special guest box. It says Gateway Uprising. This comes with 3 survivors and 1 necromancer. Those look pretty cool as well, so we'll set that there. That's nice. And we got another box. This is the 3D plastic obstacles. So I did go with the 3D plastic obstacles. And yes, these look really good. Cool. All right, so here are the green hedges, and those do look really nice. A lot of nice, high-quality sculpting in those leaves, and there is a ton of sculpting in those hedges. Those would look phenomenal if you actually... Well, I'll tell you the truth, they look good just as is because of the sculpting and the color that they used for that. I may do actually nothing with those because that color is dead on perfect. But what you could do is just sort of base them to just bring out all that detail, and then maybe do like a light basing with a green wash and then hit it with a little bit of a brown wash, and those will just pop and look phenomenal. But I'll tell you, they look really good just right out of the box. So I'll put those up there so you can get a look at those. Those look really, really good. And then here are the little barriers that were included, which are essentially supposed to look like, you know, stakes kind of put together and tied, and you can put those barriers up as well along the game. And in the game there are tokens. We did an unboxing of the Kickstarter version of the Green Horde. If you want to go check that out as well, you can find that on my channel. I did an unboxing of that. We looked through the components, and some of the things will be different from a gameplay perspective. So the game does come with tokens that represent these things, but I just thought it would be awesome to actually add on some of these hedges. I'll just put a few of them out there for you to take a look at, just so it kind of adds to the game, makes it a little bit cooler. So I'll put that right over there. All right, now this is one of the expansions that I added, the Friends and Foes expansion. So you can see that here. And this is the one that would have came with the little extra Kickstarter exclusive North the Halfling. I believe that's the one that came with the Friends and Foes as an extra add-on if you got this one. And this one is pretty cool. And again, these are all expansions for Black Plague and Green Horde. Now, primarily I'm going to be using this for Green Horde. Maybe more than I would for Black Plague. I don't know. We'll see. But this one's pretty awesome. It comes with, you know, a big abomination. It comes with dogs, and it has some bird-like characters here. You get more characters in the game, as well as different types of Green Horde type zombies. And as well, you get more tiles there for the game. So we got that, put that to side, and that is a nice big box. That's actually a lot larger of an expansion than I was even expecting. And then the last thing that we got here in the box is the Zombicide Horde box. Now this was the box they actually created to hold all of the extra stuff that came through the Kickstarter. So if you just kickstarted the game, this right here is what you would have got through the Kickstarter, and yes, that is everything that's in my box. So this is what you would have got through the Kickstarter just naturally. If you're open your wave 2, you're going to find just this box if you just strictly Kickstarted the game. All of these extra things that I have here are add-ons that, you know, I purchased and added on to the game that I wanted to kind of expand the game and have. So these were all extras that I added on. This is the main box that you're going to get that's going to have all of your extras. And I'll show you the back here. I think they did a really cool job with this. They actually did some artwork around each one of the various different miniatures. And let me get the plastic off here to make sure that it probably is reflecting the light. So let me get that plastic off, and you can see how they did all that artwork on the box to represent all the characters that are inside the box here. And they got a little bit of an example of some of the extra horde that the horde zombies that you would have got. So this was a really nice way of doing the Kickstarter, providing this extra box. You know, in the past they've done kind of an extra cardboard box, but having this Zombicide Horde box was a nice little touch to carry everything around. So we'll see. We'll get it open here, and we'll see if there is actually enough room in there to continue to add stuff, or if it's just kind of maxed out with what's in there. So here is the rules, some other things that were added in for the Horde box. So it's got some rules around the ballista. It's got some rules around the feral dragon. Remember, they have that big feral dragon. We're going to get him out here in just a second. They got the new zombie fatty busters. What else we got here? New zombie extra abominations. Giant. Oh, okay. There's a giant, a zombie giant that's in this as well that you can take on. So there's rules for that here. What else do we have here? Various different other types of characters. There's some backstory and some flavor on those, as well as maybe some differences for those characters specifically that you might have. And that's what you'll just kind of find through the rest of this book on the ones that needed a little bit extra explanation if they do something a little different. And then you got your end targeting priority that's on the back of this book. So that's nice. They got the little book included that goes over all the extra stuff that would be included with your Kickstarter if there were any rule differences. Here is an extra tile that came and included with the Kickstarter, which is pretty cool. It's got like a dead horse kind of on it with some flags and skulls there. You can see that. That's pretty awesome. Take a look at that. That looks very cool. The artwork is really good on that. They did a really nice job, and they kept that tile a little lighter as well. Sometimes they have suffered from these tiles being a little too dark, but the printing on this tile is really nice. It's really bright. Okay, so let's get this open, and I do like the way they've done this. So it's kind of a top. All right, so the top piece pulls out. Let's set this over to the side. You know what? I'm going to end up blocking. Bear, I know. Buddy, I always do this to you, and then you get blocked and you can't see. So we're going to set this over here to make sure that Bear doesn't get blocked and he can actually see. Yeah, he's a little guy. So, okay, so if we pull this out, it's a little bit different. It's almost kind of like a little plastic, or not a plastic, but a paper sleeve, a white paper sleeve. It just says Zombicide Green, or Zombicide Horde box on the front, and that's just slipped over this top plastic tray. So we'll set this right over here. Let's close our knife so we don't end up cutting ourselves. That would be good. All right, and then let's take a look at what we've got in this tray here. So here are the cards that are going to be included for those characters right on top. And again, you got a ton of extra characters. This was not a Kickstarter you wanted to miss if you're a Zombicide fan. Pretty much a fail if you did. Right, we've got a bunch of extra cards here. The weapons, different item cards, as well as our zombie cards right on the top. We'll just go ahead and put that right back in. Keep it neat. And then we're going to have all the new items that we got through the Kickstarter. And look at this. Look at the dragon. Okay, the wings are over here. So let's just take a look at this here. It looks like a simple lock in place kind of deal. So we can just lock those wings in. And I'll probably hit it with some glue as well, just to make sure that it's good and secure. But I tell you, if you do that, you're not going to be able to get it back into the box. You may want to actually not glue those. I take that back. I'm not going to glue those. They do fit in there pretty tight. I mean, they're not. I'm giving them a pull. They're not even wiggling. Well, I mean, I can wiggle it if I go up and down, but if I pull out, they're not moving. So I don't. Over time, I don't know if that'd be a problem or not. If it does, I guess you can just go ahead and glue them. But man, look at that. Look at that feral dragon. That is awesome. He looks great. And in the armor that's all across his tail, that is super, super awesome. Bear, I'm going to have Bear go ahead and fire up the video. So go ahead and take a look at that. It's going to be going over a lot of the pieces as we get them out. It might be a little bit ahead of where I am now. But we're going to be going over all the pieces. You can go ahead and check that out just for now. And then we'll be getting in close again on these miniatures. But man, that feral dragon, I'm going to set him right here. Looking fantastic. Look how big that model is in comparison, to your standard size hero. So let me go ahead and get that out because I want to show you. There's a nice piece of paper in here that's got how everything's laid out. Really like how they're doing this now, guys. Good job with that because it makes it easy to get this stuff back in the box. So let me grab just one of our standard size heroes here just to give you a feel. Oh, I got a little piece of tape on this. Just to give you a feel for how big that dragon is. Okay? Here's a standard size hero. Look at that. And you know that these heroes in Zombicide are already a good size. They're a nice size miniature for the game as you're traversing around the board. But look at the size comparison between a hero and that giant feral dragon. Just absolutely awesome. I mean, it's just awesome we're getting miniatures like this thrown in through the Kickstarters at the price point these guys are giving it to us for. It's just, you can't beat it. You really can't. I mean, you got the base game and all the Kickstarter exclusives for $120. You cannot beat that. I don't know how they're doing it, to say the truth. I don't know how they're making any money on this. All right, here's a nice sized one. Here's the giant. We'll bring him in. Let's move these hedges over to the side here. Still see those. All right, look at that giant, and we'll just set it there next to that character so you can see that size comparison. Awesome. Okay, here's the Confetti, or what? Oh man, that was a good one. I'll tell you, the sculpt on this thing looks absolutely amazing. I just love the sculpt on this. This looks great. Set that down right there. And then we have some larger Abomination characters that we've got. Oh, this one looks pretty cool. Set him down. Here's the dead sort of unicorn that I was pretty excited about as well. That came out looking pretty good. Horn looks nice. And again, some of these, as they come out of the mold, they'll have a little bit of plastic that'll be stuck on some of the pieces. And, just grab you one of these. Just grab you one of these little X-Acto knives and you just shave that off and it'll be perfect. All right, so look at that. That looks very, very cool. The way that's sculpted up. Put that down. Seen this one. So here's a couple other big Abominations here. These guys look pretty awesome. Good level of detail. It's just right. They're not so overly sculpted with detail where there's 100 things to look at on every model, but they're sculpted just right for the style and the artwork that goes with this game. This is pretty cool here. Fires a big arrow. Well, not really. It doesn't really fire a big arrow. It'd be pretty cool if it did, if you could pull it back and actually fire an arrow. But no, it doesn't actually fire an arrow, but it's still pretty awesome, pretty cool. Okay, and then we'll get these two out. Here's another larger model here. It's kind of a zombie style giant, so it's a little bit larger, right? We can put that down. You can see the size comparison to that giant. They are the same height, and that's kind of the zombie form. And then another really cool looking, it's almost kind of like a dead minotaur type looking character here. It looks pretty awesome. Very, very cool. I'm going to put him down right here. Okay, so that's all we'll look at here. I'll go ahead and pull these out and just put them out because again, we're going to be going over these, and I'm going to try to go over most of them close up. And then the last thing we're going to find in this box is all of the new characters. Bear, I'm blocking you again, buddy. I hear it. I know. All right, so we'll put that down over there. And we're also going to have some of the new zombies as well that came with the Kickstarter. So we'll cut that, and we'll pop this off. Man, they got us four tapes on this one. 4 tapes. So sorry about the noise. We'll get this off in a minute. All right, there we go. All right, that doesn't block you, does it, buddy? No, it doesn't. Okay. So, very cool. I was excited about this one. So the little rabid bunny rabbit. Oh, that's perfectly scaled too. I love that. I was really excited about this one. I didn't know if they would actually make it a little bit bigger. Obviously not this big, but significantly bigger than this. I like the fact that they went with a properly scaled little bunny. So if we put that right down there to kind of show you that scale, I mean, maybe it's not perfectly scaled for the size of a bunny. That would be a larger bunny, but man, it looks great. That is so cool. That's going to look great. That's going to look great on the game board. Right up top, we're going to have more zombies. I did say new, but these are some of the same sculpts that came with the base game that we already went through, but you do get more of them here. And then all of the awesome new characters. And I'll tell you, they did a great job on the sculpting and the detail of these characters. This one here looks phenomenal. The level of detail that's sculpted into the face, that's sculpted into the clothing, just looks awesome. Now again, with some of these that are going to have these, thinner pieces that extend out, you're going to want to dip those in some nice hot water, straighten it, okay, hold it, straighten it, and then dip it right in some ice cold water. It'll be fixed, perfect, and ready to go. So that's really no problem. But these do look really awesome. I'm going to look, here's the one that, and they do have fun with a lot of these where they'll make characters that are from, kind of pop culture things. They'll make characters that are from some of the newer series on TV. And you can make your guess for, who is supposed to be who. But they do have some pretty awesome sculpts that they come up with, 11. I really like this guy, the dwarf, he's kind of the Wolverine dwarf. Such a cool sculpt on this guy here. That's who I'm playing with. I can't. That's who I'm playing with on the next round. This mage looks amazing. This mage looks so cool. I love the sculpting in the cloak. Just so much detail. It's kind of blowing in the wind. And his staff really looks good. It's kind of a gnarled root kind of staff. That is a very, very cool miniature. I am definitely going to paint him up. He looks amazing. I don't know. They all look so cool. This guy here looks awesome with the sword. So cool. I love this one too. That's great. Let's see. What's another one that really jumps out that looks really, really good? Ah, they're all so awesome. That's the hard part. This guy's pretty cool here. Looks like a big knight with a huge sword, and he's kind of wearing that knight helmet. He's a very cool one as well. All right, so we're gonna now bring the camera in low and get in on all of these different miniatures that we got. So we'll bring it in. We'll get in on at least everything that's here. We'll run across it, and you guys can see just the level of quality and how good these look. And then what we'll do is I'll go in and we'll take an extra special look at a few of these that really pop, and they did a significant amount of sculpting and work on. Oh, this one just looks phenomenal. All right, let's bring the video in. Bear, grab the camera. Let's bring it in. Let's get into this. What I'm going to do here is kind of go over the tray that was included here, and you can see some of those extras that were included. Again, these are the same sculpts that are in the base game here, the Kickstarted version that we've already gone through. These are the sculpts from the base game as well. You'll see those. You get some extras. And then we'll go through this tray quickly. And then we'll take a look at some of the ones that I have sitting out. So this is a new one here. So you can see this guy. This is a new fatty. See all kind of the bubbles that come off of that sculpt. That's a pretty cool looking sculpt. That would look pretty awesome painted up with those bubbles kind of coming off of there and the ripped clothing. Very awesome. See some others that we have here. It's kind of a cool looking Dracula type character. I like how it's holding the lantern. Very awesome. Some nice sculpt work there on the chest, that emblem. And then we get into all the characters that were included, and you can just see the level of detail and quality in these. It's just really fantastic. There's so much energy in the sculpting. It's not just the level of detail, it's actually the posing of the sculpting. Just detail in the right spots. Look at that. He looks amazing. The rivets there they included at the bottom of that. Boots looking pretty awesome. There's another favorite. Love these dwarven characters. He looks pretty awesome. Carrying that mighty hammer. Let's check out the cloak. Just an amazing amount of detail there in that cloak, that fur cloak. Pretty sweet.
That guy's pretty awesome too. I like the stance with those blades they got going on. She looks good. Look at that chain mail. Looks awesome. Very cool look there with the crossbow and the whip, the arrows, the bolts there kind of on the side hip. That's a really cool look. This guy looks pretty cool with the crossbow as well. Love the sculpting work on this one too. And I really like the fact that they did all this sculpting there on that sword. That looks very, very cool. That is very awesome. This guy looks great too. Just ripped and ready for battle. Sort of a mage-like character. Looks like they're holding somewhat of a wand. Kind of a Friar Tuck type look there. I like that ranger look. That's a very cool sculpt. Let's check out what he's got here, kind of on the back. That's really, really cool. That's pretty awesome. That's a great pose, Iron Man. That's pretty sweet looking. That's a good dynamic pose right there. I like how they actually lifted her up off the stand by use of her cloak there, her cape. That looks really, really awesome. That's a good sculpt. I like this guy's hair. It's kind of like mine. All right, so we can see just how cool these look. And again, that's only one tray of what we got here. I'm going to set this over to the side. And then let's get into a few of these others that we've got that I pulled out a little bit earlier, just so you can get a closer look at them, just to see those as well. See how cool that looks. It's got a great look. Awesome sculpting. Those swords on the back. Here's the Wolverine, or the Wolverine looking guy. Claws out, ready for battle. Claws out. All right, let's look at this one here. Hold that little box, it's pretty cool. The level of detail sculpted into his armor, the face, just looks amazing. And that's what's so good about these CMON sculpts. Not only are they nailing it on the level of detail, it's just the right amount of detail. And on top of that, it's just the sculptors that they have, they're just doing phenomenal work. There's so much life, dynamic, movement that you can see in these sculpts just from the way they do the cloaks and the things that are blowing in the wind to the way that they're looking, you know, just the facial expressions, everything just looks really, really good. There's another where they did some work in that sword to do some sculpting. Just little extra touches, you know. All right, let's hit the larger zombie here. Whoa. Let's hit this larger zombie. This axe looks pretty awesome. And I get some slight bending on that axe, but again, just dip that in some hot water and then dip it in some cold water and it'll be straight and good as new. Perfect. I love the way they did his belt there. That looks great. All right. I'm going to grab a hedge here so you can see that. You can just see the level of detail that's in these as well. Every little leaf sculpted out. Really did a great job, guys. This is impressive. Very, very impressive for the price point of what you're working with. And there's this barrier. And you can see the ropes all nicely sculpted into that as well. Let's grab our ballista here. I love the way they've sculpted the wood on these. They really have captured a look completely unpainted that really does look like an aged wood. So just between the sculpting as well as the plastic color that's been chosen for these various different pieces, they really did a nice job. Now we'll hit a few of these quickly. All right, this looks pretty cool. That's that dead minotaur type looking character. Let me hit the old unicorn. Very cool. I like this one a lot. This would look phenomenal painted up. That may have to be a painted one. I like how the horn is all kind of baroque and somewhat crooked. That's very awesome. Let's get this guy here. Let's take a look at this one. Look at the detail in on the face. That's amazing. That looks so awesome. Oh, this one's getting painted. We're going to use purples and blues. That tail. So cool. Horns look great. Extra little detail of how that hair kind of lays down on top of the neck. They could have just, you know, cut all of that off at the same length and just sort of tucked it up under and rounded it off. But look at the sculpting work that was done to really add that level of detail of that hair hanging off the backside of that neck. I mean, there's so much detail that's just already captured in the sculpt just because of the color of the plastic and the way that they've produced this. You can already see that there's an amazing amount of detail that just comes out right out of the box. I mean, you would normally have to wash, you know, your miniatures to get them to look like this, or base them and wash them. Absolutely awesome. Cannot say enough about how amazing these are. Oh, here's just one of our characters I was using for scale. She looks pretty awesome. She's got kind of a Wonder Woman look to her. Very cool. Like that. Here's our little bunny. Just our little guy. Urgh. That's pretty cool. And let's take a look at our big boy here. The dragon. The feral dragon. Look at the wings on that. Those are awesome. This sculpt is amazing. And this guy right here was just thrown in as part of the Kickstarter. It's impressive, guys. It's impressive. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to get into each one quickly here of the add-ons that I did purchase. So the first one that we're going to find here is one of the special guest boxes. So we do have the cards for those that are included, and you'll see, I'll just keep this right in there. You'll see the ones that were included in that. These are actually pretty awesome. Like this guy, he looks pretty cool. That holding that big Thunderburst gun. That's pretty awesome. That's a very cool sculpt as well. Okay, so that's one of them. Let's go ahead and take a look at our exclusive Kickstarter Halfling, North the Halfling. He's looking great. That's so cool. All right, here's the cards that come with this one. You got your cards here, as well as the sculpts. You can see how I'm going to go ahead and get this out. So I'll look at these here. He's looking really cool. Love how they do that chainmail. More of a barbarian type character there. He looks awesome. Love that hammer. Boots look great. Here's a new Necro. Looks like it's straight out of Lord of the Rings. And then let's get this big guy out. And for scale, I'm going to go ahead and put him down here next to a character, standard size character. And you can see that scale. He's fairly large as well. I mean, he's definitely not as big as the zombie. You can see the zombie's a little bit higher on height. But he's got some good size to him in comparison to a standard character. So some good scaling. And again, this does play out as two different characters. Oh, this is so awesome. And you can have two different players. One player play this guy, and one player play this guy, or one player play them both, which I would recommend probably doing that. That way you can kind of stay in sync with what you're doing strategy-wise. But I'll tell you, it would be a really fun mechanic to play 1-on-1, and you can do that with these guys. Some various trinkets kind of hanging off the back of this guy. This is so cool. This is one of the coolest characters I think I've seen. They are going to be a lot of fun to play. All right. And then the last thing we have here, and I'll just kind of zoom over the box, is the Friends and Foe add-on that I purchased. And it does come with its own book here that runs you through all the rules for Friends and Foes, as well as the scenarios that are included in this one as well. So it does add additional quests that come with this one. It isn't just different miniatures. You do get more quests, as well as tiles in the game, and I'll show you those here as well. So there are some new tiles that are included. You can see those. Some great artwork on those tiles as well. And I'll tell you, these look really, really nice. The color does look amped up a little bit more. You can see these lines between each one of these sections, even within those swampier areas. Very, very nice and clear. So they did a good job on these tiles. They look really nice. It's just more of kind of a castle type layout. And then another outdoor type area. Looks somewhat similar to what you would find in the base game. And those are all double-sided as well. Okay, so you're going to have different sides to each one of those. And then let's go ahead and just run over the box, and you can see what's included in this one. So we do have the wolf type miniatures. It's kind of a feral wolf. And then these really cool, they're like these winged cats. And that's a very cool sculpt. I really like that as well. That'd be fun. And then kind of your traditional greyhound type looking dog. And then there are some new sculpts for the Green Horde included. So pretty awesome. These guys are really cool looking. I like that bulge they kind of have there on the forearms with the spikes. They all follow that similar look with the bulges and the spikes. And we got our character cards that are included here. There'll be some monster cards under there as well. Another larger Abomination. And then the characters that are actually included in this add-on too. So there are characters, so there's even more characters. This guy looks really cool. I love this old-looking sword where, again, they've nailed it on that extra detail sculpted into the sword. And this old kind of rustic-looking staff, curled knot staff. That is awesome. He's got kind of a Moses look to him. And then down here, we've got a couple more characters that are included. She looks pretty awesome. Actually, they both do. Again, just some awesome dynamic sculpting there on those. All right, and that's everything you're going to get in the Friends and Foe expansion. So that's a pretty good size expansion as well. So we've now taken a look at everything that came through the Kickstarter, the actual Kickstarter version of the game that we got and we unboxed already. Again, that's kind of the base copy of the game. This was all the Kickstarter extras. So if you want to check out what the standard Green Horde looks like, you can check that video out. And we've gone through all the Kickstarter stuff as well as a few of the add-ons that I purchased separately just to have. So that's it. That's everything. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll get one more shot here and say cheese.